the next stage of my book / journal, and as you can see, I've got lots of bits sticking out, and that's because I have been through and I have decided on some of the images, the papers I want to use for each of my envelopes, some tags, and the bits for the pockets, the journal tags. So I decided, because this is really quite bright and funky paper, that I wasn't going to go down the vintage theme. So it did take me a little while to find some bits and pieces that I particularly the images that I wanted to use. So I'm just going to have a very quick flip through, and then I'm going to start showing you how I'm making it. So I've made these covered these envelopes. So I found some rice paper bits. I think they are old Imagination Crafts ones, which is going to be on the front, and I'm going to use some of the paper for the back. Now obviously I want to cover this as well, so I am going to use some of these. Now these bits of paper are it is rice paper, but when I've done demos in the past and I've been doing inky things, I would mop up the ink or the paint or whatever it was, or the sprays, with pieces of paper, and just keep them, because like now they'll be useful for background. So my intention is to kind of layer these onto the cards, and like you can see, I've got a whole load here, and I have been through and kind of sorted them, so I will be using those as well. So I think there's a few of those dotted through, so I'm just carefully put those back in. I have these tag stickers. I've got those from Janie's Originals. These are the butterfly ones, and so I'm going to use those with the tags for this and for this bit here. Just move it along again with some of the coloured rice paper. So that's for those. I might not use all of those, but I was kind of giving myself a little bit of a selection. This little pocket and this little image. Some of these things I don't even know where I got them from. I find these things and they go in my little box. So again, this will be covering the back, and then the front will have some of the rice paper. I think you're starting to get the idea of what I'm going to do. So and then I've got things for the enclosed paper clips. So I've got the images again. I'll use some of the coloured rice paper, and I've got some scraps for a little bit of collage. So I've got 2 images there. These ones were from Janie's Originals. So you can see here another of the rice paper squares. Oh, I don't seem to have any backing paper for, oh no, that's a journal card. I was thinking, why don't I have backing paper for that? That's a journal card, so I obviously don't want to cover that, because that will be for me to write things on. And then again for the tags, the 2 tags here, got some more of the ticket stickers for that one. Another one of those. Again, you can see. So I literally, like I say, I've been through the entire book and decided, you know, I may change my mind as I go, but I like to kind of give myself a starting point, and then I can always add things in, take things away, but at least I have somewhere to start. Now, the other thing I may or may not use, again, it depends how I feel. These are all things that I have had in my stash forever. I'm sure a lot of you have got skeleton leaves. There are a few fabric flowers, paper flowers, and these are some jute butterflies. I don't think they're self-adhesive. I think that's just the backing for the jute. But these are things I have had for a very long time, along with a lot of other things. So I'm just kind of trying to use up some bits and pieces. So we may use those. I'll put them just there so you can see them. I'm using old stuff up where I can. So for the rice paper, this is some Decoupage Plus. It was from Imagination Crafts, so that will do for the rice paper, and I always put that on with a brush. This is a really old brush. You can see it's not particularly in good condition, but it does the job. This is not so old, but yeah, this is some of Janie's original quick stick. There's not a lot, she doesn't have a lot of this left just because she's moving on to a different kind of glue, which is good. It's called the paper bindery glue. But I don't want to open my new glue when I've still got this one. So those are what we are intending to use. And because we're gluing, I'm going to get my really disgusting gluing mat out, just so that I'm not getting too much glue over here. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with this. I'm going to take it out from the book. I'm going to put the book out of the way for the moment. And like I said, I'm going to stick this on this, but we're going to use, I think I've got a few different, yeah, so I sort of went through what I've got and I've picked out a few different ones. If you can see, you might not be able to see this on the camera, but it's a bit of sparkling because they would have had Creative Expressions Pixie Sparkle sprays that, yeah, it would have had that all over it. So just going to start by sticking this on the back. I went through the papers. I've cut them mostly bigger, so probably actually, if I'm thinking straight, would be better to put the glue on here. And I'll stick that on and give it a bit of a burnish down. Make sure it's stuck. And then I am going to just trim along the edge. Now again, if it was more vintage, I might consider inking the edges, but I'm not too fussed for this because this is a bit brighter. Okay, so that's that one done. What I did with that was just butt my scissors up to the edge of the card. Okay, so now now I am going to use one of these to go under there. I think I might go with that one. So I'm just going to tear it. It's this rice paper isn't quite the same as the ones you get the printed images on. It doesn't have those big kind of what I would call slubs in them. I might need to just cover that a little bit. But it still, you know, it is very lightweight and very easy to use. So yeah, it's I got it in a pad, I think on Amazon. And yeah, if you're really into, let's just hope this is in, yeah. Whew. I was just wondering whether it was in working condition or not. So yeah, see that? See where it's not been sealed properly, this bit is set bit. But you know, considering how long it's been in my stash, you can already see, well, I can see already getting Pixie Sparkle cast off, which, you know, I don't mind. So I am covering a piece of card, and then I am just going to go over, and I am not going to worry too much about wrinkles. It adds texture. I might even bring some of it over this side, just soften the edge there. And you can see why I've decided to use my my mat for sticking, because otherwise I'd be getting in a right, I'd be getting my mat in a right sticky mess at this point, because I have a tendency to do this. It's just I get going and I don't really think about what a mess I'm making. So that's now on there, and I'm actually, because this is wet, I'm gonna add this straight on. I'm just going to put a little bit on that. Now you can see this, what I was talking about. This is what I mean by the slubs in the rice paper, and that's what sometimes makes it tricky to tear. So I might put that on there. So I know a lot of people who do junk journaling, you can buy lots of ephemera, and I do too. But you know, look back into all your stash. We are crafters. We buy so much stuff, and when things sort of go out a bit out of fashion, we move on and we don't go back. Now, I don't know what else I might like. I was thinking possibly of using these. I think that would look quite nice actually. I've got any more green ones. These just happen to be on the top. You know, 1, 2. They always say do things in threes, don't they? No. I don't know. I don't know whether it'll obscure the image too much, or maybe just one. Maybe not on this one, but they're there. Anything else that might like to go on? And so these are things that have been in my in these little drawers. You see these little white drawers that come out of these little lovely little units, which are very decorative. And to be quite honest with you, that's what they've tended to stay as, just little decorative things. So this is basically how I end up doing my things. It's stuff that becomes a bit of a play around, see what I like. We'll do it that way, like that. I think maybe, yeah, we'll try that. Now, again, these I haven't used these in years, so I'm just going to go with seeing if this will stick them down, which it is doing a pretty good job at. That's okay. Just going over those, like so, and then I'm going to put the flower there. A little bit of blue for that, like so. Oh, there's text on that, so I get that up the right way. And it may be that when it's all dry, I might come back and I might put something in the middle here. But for the moment, I'm quite happy with that. And I'm going to put that to one side just to dry because it's quite wet. So I'll put that over there. And I am going to bring my book. Whoa! Bring my book back in for a sec. And I'm going to go through and look for other ones. So I'm going to do this one. Now remember, this is a journal card, so I don't need anything on the back. Excuse me. This one's another journal card. So we'll put that one to do. And then this one is one of those little envelopes. So that's that one to do. And another journal card. Okay. So I'm going to work on those now in just the same way as I did that first one. Just remembering with the journal cards themselves, I'm not putting anything on the back. I may overlap some of the some of the rice paper. Sorry, a bit brain fog today. Brain's not quite working. Yeah, so we'll see how we go. Right. Okay, let's do this one. The front of all of these are now done. Now, whilst applying this, I've made a little bit of a mess of the back of these journal cards, but I'm not too worried. I will make a decision on, I have quite a lot of these, so I might just stick another one over the top of that, which will be absolutely fine. Again, like I say, until I do these things, I don't know quite how they're going to work out, just ideas, but I'm quite happy with the way that the skeleton leaves look on these. Yeah, I'm really, really impressed with that. So yeah, I've now found a use for those. Now these are not dry, so I do need to put them to the side. And I would say about these ones, if I was to do them again, and probably when I do the tags, I will stick this on afterwards and not before. But again, I can deal with that later. I can add something else on if I want to, or but yeah, for now I'm very happy with how they've turned out, but they do need to just go to one side to dry while I get on with the next pieces. So okay, so we're going to look at the tags now. We've got quite a few tags, and I've kind of realized that if I want to use the rice paper on one side and the pattern paper on the other, underneath the rice paper, it really needs to be a lighter surface than this. So I could just use this paper as a tag and stick it straight on, but I want it a little bit more solid. So you can either put some copier paper, white copier paper, stick that down first and then put the rice paper over, or you can paint them with white gesso. So that's what I'm going to do for this next stage. So I'm going to get all of those done, and then I'll show you how what I did next. But you will need to take all of these out, and I will keep hold of them. I may put them back in some, I may put ribbon, but they're worth keeping hold of anyway. They're good for clusters and things. So I am going to now I'm going to take out all the tags in the book and take off the string, and then give them a coat of gesso before we move on to our next stage. So I've now got all of my tags painted or the gesso on one side. Okay, so I'm just going to grab that piece of paper and one of the small tags because that's what that's going there, and a piece of the rice paper. In trouble. I'm having real brain fog at the moment of remembering words and such. So I'm going to put this over the top of the gessoed side, and we are going to use the decoupage glue like before. I'm going to grab my brush, which has been in water, so I'm just squeezing out some of the water from that, and going to a bit of glue over the gesso. Oh, and also on paper. As I've got my craft mat out, I'm not bothering with the glue mat at the moment. I can easily, and you can see that shows up really nicely now on the top of the gesso. And turn it over and glue that down too. Oh, there we go. And so that's all folded over. So you can see with the gesso underneath, you can see the colours on the paper. So I'm just going to give that a little blast with a heat gun just to dry it off a little bit. Not completely dry, but at least it means I can do the next bit. So if you look on this side, you can see why I decided to put some white on, because you end up seeing patches of the tag underneath, which we don't want. So before I stick the paper on the back, I am just going to use my I've got a big bite just to punch the hole, just so I don't lose the hole, and then I'm going to use the quick stick and put that over the back of the tag. So put this over the top. Good. It's down, and then I'm going to just use the scissors to cut round. Be better to wait for the everything to dry before you do this, because I've managed to cut through it, but I'm not going to worry too much. Yeah, I would wait for it this side to have dried more, because I'm just worried about getting too close to it with it being still wet. but either way, it looks good. So because I punched through this side, I can see where the hole is. So I'm then going to go right the way through. And so I've still got then my hole for my tag. So I'm going to go ahead now and do the rest of my tags in the same way. I now have all of my tags covered and the holes punched. I've also gone ahead and all these other little cards like this, I've also covered those. So my next step is to start looking at my enclosed paper clips. Now I've got all the bits and pieces here that I'm going to decorate. I'm going to leave those in there for the moment. But I've got some more of my rice paper and the actual bits of card, and I'm just going to grab myself paper clip. Okay, so there are a couple of parts to the paper clip, an enclosed paper clip. Now you need a piece of maybe mirror card, but definitely something that is shiny, because this is the bit that's going to be going up and down on your book, the bit that's going to be moved. And you need a paper clip, and that goes over the top. Now you can just decorate this and leave the paper clip exposed, or just sort of put something over the top when you decorate it. But I'm going to make an enclosed one. Now this isn't my idea. I've got this from Janie from Janie's Originals. She's got a video on her YouTube channel of these, so you know, for both types, so you can pop over and have a look. Now I know that I want to cover this with rice paper, so I am going to do that first, but I'm also just going to mark where the paper clip is going to come through. So I'm just going to kind of give myself a little mark, and I just need to cut that, and I'll just show you how that sits before I do the rice paper. You need a new blade. Okay, so what will happen then is that this will go through here and will sit like this. Okay, and how much you have through here is up to you, also kind of dictated by the size of your paper clip. So what I want to show you, what I'm going to do first is I'm going to cover this with my rice paper. Okay, so you've seen me do this before. Oh, let's find the glue mat. And I'm doing it before because I do kind of want to what's the word? I do want to wrap these round so that the edges won't be seen. But I am I'm not going to go right up to the top here because I don't want to affect the closure. And once I start decorating it, I can deal with that if I'm not happy with it. Okay, so we're using decoupage glue. And I'm using that old stuff, so this is a very, I've had this a few years in my stash. So my glue brush has been in water so that it didn't go hard. So literally I am going to put the glue, I am going to put it all over just because it's easier. Oops, excuse me. If I had a piece that was long enough, maybe I would go all the way over and not worry too much about the fold, but you know, this is what I've chosen to do. I am going to put some glue on the rice paper. Oh, put it this way before I try and stick that down. And because I've got this glue mat, I mean, I don't know how it shows up on the camera, but it's a mess, and that's fine because that's the purpose of this mat. It is for gluing. It is old. I don't know. This is something I think I bought maybe. Oh, I don't know actually. Maybe I'm creating crap, but we're talking years ago. But it does the job. It absolutely does the job. See, so this is covered in glue now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just flip it over. And I'm not worried about the fact that there is glue facing down. It's absolutely fine. So just gluing. I'm putting the glue so it touches both the paper and the piece of card. So both have got a bit of glue on. Obviously that's going to be a bit longer, but you get the idea. So what I'm doing is I'm getting this glued on. Oh, stuck a bit. But that's okay. Oh, we lost a little bit of the paper there, but that's all right because it's only the bits that are coming around this side. So, and even if it wasn't the other side, I still intend to do some kind of collagey bits to decorate. So yeah, this is just the first step. Okay, so there is my outer piece. You can see on here that some of the ink has come off, but you know, it's to be expected. I'm using a lot of glue. There was a lot of ink or paint or whatever it was that I think it's Pixie Sparkles by the way it's glinting. Now, I'm going to just put that up. This is just a piece of wax paper. I find them really easy when I'm doing all my tags. I can just do that next bit on because they don't stick. So I'm just putting that to the side for now. I'm just going to show you how I secure the paper clip. So I'm going to use red liner tape, and we're using quite a wide one, but you know, it's kind of whatever you've got. So I'm putting the tape. Now, I'm not just going to push it down at either side. I am going to use this. This is a scoring tool, and I'm pushing it right up into that part, and then I'm pushing in between these parts to get it in there, making sure this bit's all flat in between, pushing it up, and then coming out this side and doing the same. That's how I attach the paper clip, and I'm going to do the same on this side. Again, I push it down on this side, and I'm going to push it right up to the paper clip. Put that in. Sorry, keep turning it so you can see. Push that in, flatten this bit out, and then push in this side. Okay. Now that will also help to attach this bit, but I will be using glue as well. So what I'm going to do, because this is still wet, I am going to show you. I mean, because this glue will help stick anyway. So what we're going to do is I'm going to put this through like so. Okay. I am just going to put that there for the moment, just because with the rice paper still being a little bit wet, what I don't want is this to stick straight down until I've got the red liner tape off plus some more glue on. So what I'm doing now, red liner tape is off and I am putting glue on here. You might see a number on these. It's just because when I was cutting them, I wanted to make sure I kept the right bit with the right bit. Okay. And because again, this is wet, I'm just gonna put that over so that I can press that down. So, peel off, and then we can do the other side. Now, to be honest with you, if I wouldn't do these necessarily like this when they're all wet, but just for the sake of showing you, it's just easier this way. So normally I would do the rice paper and then let that dry and then do this part. Okay, so I find using the rice paper does help if if you are perhaps in a rush and you want to get on with things. So this bit is going to come over like so, and then just press down with. Okay, so I will leave this to dry, but if I just show you so where this one's going, probably here, so this is going to go here. So it will open out like this because you've got that nice piece in the middle, and it will just sit like this, and then you can take them on and off. Okay, so that's the idea, and each side then will be decorated. Okay, so I have a few more of these to do, so I am going to get all of those covered and made in the same way, and I'm going to put them to dry. I'm going to put them over this one particularly over the paper, just because the inside of that is wet. So I will get on and cover the rest of my paper. All the bits inside now are covered. So I know I've started with the journal card, sorry, the big parts and the journal cards, and some of those are decorated. But now all my tags are done. My enclosed paper clips are done. It's kind of now down to decoration. Now, when I first went through with the book with what I was planning on doing, I had showed you I've already picked out some pieces of collage paper to go on some of them. I've picked out these stickers. Again, that's for those. So I've got some stuff already kind of in mind, but what I've also got, I've got these that I started with. So I've got these old jute butterflies. I've got a lot of old paper flowers, some fabric flowers, and the skeleton leaves. I've got the remains of all the papers. Remember, I took one piece of paper of every kind out of the pad, so that's what I've got remaining from that to do some collage with. I've got out my washi tape box. There are some more vintagey ones in here, but I did say I'm not going for the vintage look in this, so I'll be using the ones like these, so the more coloured ones. I've got my lace scrap box. I've also got a couple of different fibre boxes. So these are all more like maybe wools and embroidery type threads and just all sorts of different fibres in there. And then I've also got these are from Janie's Originals. So some really thin, like say, almost like strands of embroidery cotton. Plus then these sari type pieces. These ones are thinner than these ones. So I've got a whole range of kind of colours and textures and stuff. Now it doesn't mean to say I won't dip into other things that I have, but we'll see. So I'm not necessarily going to show you how I decorate everything because I'd be here for hours and I probably will, and it'll probably take me several days. But I will come back and give you a bit of a flip through to show you the tags and that when I've done. I mean, that won't be the book finished because I might still want to decorate some other stuff, but you know, we'll just go with that for now. Okay. I've now completed all of the cards, the ephemera, the tags. I'm not going to do a full look through because I'll do a flip through, but you can see, you know, I've done all of, you know, my enclosed paper clips, things for the little envelopes, things for the pockets. So all of that is done. The last thing that I am going to do is to decorate the actual covers, and then some of these bits like here and here, these little bits where I've got sort of not dead space, but where I could do with just maybe adding something little. But I think I'll do that in a separate video because this one's been, I feel a little, it's been quite bitty because it's taken me a while to do things, but hopefully it's given you sort of some insight into the sort of thing. I mean, I was using those stickers, the skeleton leaves, some of the paper flowers, you know, some of the twine. On some I've used some bits of collage. It's fine to see here again, I've used skeleton leaves, and you know, here like bits of collage, same here, bits of collage, and the stickers. I've tried to keep to that sort of the set of things I set out with, and I've not added anything else in other than, like, you know, the washi tapes and the lace and the twine that I showed you. Here you go. I've used lace here and some of the washi tape, some of the flowers. Okay, so that's it, I think, now for this video. And like I say, I will do the next one showing how I just added a little bit more decoration, but probably particularly to the covers. Okay, thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time.